So I'm headed north here on the trail to look at some interesting historical landmarks. Alright, so here we are in downtown Newmarket. Seems pretty nice here. So in the 1700s, trappers and traders would bring their goods from northern Ontario into Lake Simcoe, and then they'd come down here into Cook's Bay, and then they would reach the Holland River, where they would paddle their canoe with their goods up to the East Holland River and into the Newmarket area right here. And this is about as far as they would get. And then they ditch their canoe, and then they would walk 45 kilometers into the city of Toronto with their goods and sell it there. So two guys set up like a trading post under this big tree in this area. I believe it's on the other side of the street. And they told everybody that they're going to buy their products so that they don't have to go all the way down to Toronto or York. And they told everyone to spread the word that there's a new market in the area that they can sell all their goods instead of having to go all the way to York. So that's how the town of Newmarket got its name, from this spot right here. So throughout the 1800s, there was always talk of building a lock system on the East Holland River to enable shipping traffic to reach Newmarket from Lake Simcoe and the Trent Severn waterway. There were many reasons not to build it, but the main reason was the lack of water in the East Holland River. In 1904, Member of Parliament William Mullock used his position to move the project forward. And it was basically a patronage project, and everybody knew it. It was built to create employment in the area and to buy votes. But it would never work, and they knew that before they even started. The project became nicknamed Mullock's Madness. Actual construction began in 1907, with a lot of planning done in 1906. The final system ended up as a 3-lock and dam system located here, and the second lock was located here, and then the third lock was located just slightly north of Newmarket, right here. It's since been filled in with dirt to make a park. And then the turning basin was located right here, and that's also since been filled in. So here's the water flow you get off the river in the summertime, off of the East Holland River. It would take a long time to fill up a lock using this water. This is the remnants of a very unusual railway bridge. You can see the concrete supports still left on there where they supported the trestle. And it's an unusual bridge for the time, like 100 years ago. Arch bridge, they formed it out of concrete. Kind of weird looking. So here's some of the remnants of the canal system. It's the first I've seen. And I'm just in downtown Newmarket right now. And just off to the left, over there, used to be the turning basin where they would turn around. This was the end of the line for the canal going upstream into Newmarket from Lake Simcoe. About 100 feet ahead, that's where they would turn around and go back. See, I guess they could tie up their boats here and get out of the boats on these steps. But this canal never saw one boat. It was never used. Complete waste of money. So this trail is just following the Holland River right now. You get a glimpse of it every once in a while. The last step that they had to do was dredge this thing down to 6 feet, but they never got around to it. So here we are at lock number 3, if you're counting 1, 2, 3 from Lake Simcoe direction. And this is the spillway of the lock. So this is where the overflow water that was not being used by the canal at the time would flow over. There's some water flowing down there. So let's take a look over here at the lock, which they filled in because they made a park out of it. But here you have it. There were supposed to be boats going through here. The lock system was 80% complete. They had all the hinges here. This where the gates were supposed to fit in these indents. Here you can get a nice view of the canal going north towards Lake Simcoe. We're in between the second and third lock, and here is the remains of a swing bridge that I'm on right now. It was supposed to be used to swing out of the way when boats would go by here, but it was never used because the canal was never used. So this bridge here was used until 2002 when they made this new bridge over here. So now they just turned it into a pedestrian bridge for the bike trail. Apparently some of the mechanism for this was hand crank. This bridge was hand crank. Apparently some of the mechanism is still under the bridge for the hand crank system. There you can see some of the gears. So the second lock is straight ahead over there, and they made some kind of modern bridge surrounding it and tried to incorporate the old lock into the design. But this flat area ahead of us was meant to be like a overflow holding area for water, because they knew they didn't have enough water. So they figured if they can fill up this area with water and a boat comes through, then they can load up the lock really fast, like a reservoir. So there it is, lock number 2. You can see the indents in the side of the wall there where the gates were supposed to go. And there's a spillway on the side. But it's very interesting. I love this kind of stuff. So boats were supposed to enter in here, and it looks like nothing happened. But I really wanted to walk up these steps. I really wanted to do that. That's why I crossed over those gates there. There's the spillway. Pretty neat. They even put detail on the steps there. Nice little edge. Fancy. This looks like a nice place for a break. How's that for a view while you're eating your lunch? You gotta dredge that out 6 feet all the way to Lake Simcoe from here. Ain't gonna happen. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. I just thought I'd show you a bit of the local history of the Newmarket area and how they tried to connect to Lake Simcoe and the Trent Severn waterway, and it never happened. This canal was never used, not even once. They eventually spent about $1 million, which was a lot of money, in 1912. They started the project in 1906. They started talking about it in 1904, and they shut it down in 1912 because they just ran out of money, and they knew that there was no water for this lock. They tried all kinds of plans but to get extra water diverting from other lakes, but they just couldn't do it. It's just a waste of money. And at the same time, the railroads were becoming dominant, and nobody really cared about canals anymore. So that's it for today. So anyways, time to head back to the car, and I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching it.